Hey guys, Aaron here for The Love of Tech, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to go ahead and take a look at a little camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, I have been using the OnePlus 9 Pro as my main Android device ever since it came out. What does that mean to you? I use several phones, three basically every single day. Two iPhones, one for work, one for personal, hence the Apple Watch. And I usually have a full-time Android phone that I keep with me at all times because I do prefer some Android features and cameras to the iPhone. So I've been carrying the OnePlus 9 Pro, and I do think it's worth digging a little bit deeper into the camera differences between the S21 Ultra and the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, this one is tuned with Hasselblad technology to help bring us better colors, more vibrant color accuracy. Is that the case? Is it better than Samsung S21 Ultra? Samsung makes a pretty good lens. They make a pretty good camera. And a lot of people would probably choose the S21 Ultra camera over the OnePlus 9 Pro. I might not be one of those people. You might not be one of those people. You might actually be a person that you don't know which phone you prefer. You don't know which one is the better camera. Now, there's tons of Android devices coming out all the time. This isn't an iPhone, even though we have Steve Jobs here judging the iPhones. It's not an iPhone against Android. We're matching up Android against Android. What I want to do is look at some night shots first, because one thing with my last camera comparison with the OnePlus 9 Pro is there was a couple comments that I didn't have enough nighttime or dark mode photos in there. So we're gonna go ahead and start off looking at this photo. So right here, the first one we have up, I want to bring to your attention the sheer aspect ratio of the difference of these two devices. It's a common theme throughout the whole entire video, and you're gonna notice this. So I took some vertical, not horizontal photos, because most content these days is being consumed vertically, not horizontally, even though my personal preference is always to take a photo horizontal, not vertical. But that's not how we always consume content, especially the boomers. They don't know anything about turning their phone for taking a picture, so they're always doing it vertical. So boomer, this camera comparison is for you. Okay, boomer, let's go. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the tree. The tree right here, you can see, if that's our focal point, we get a lot more picture, a lot more real estate, if you will, looking at the OnePlus 9 Pro as compared to the Samsung S21 Ultra. Now, another thing I would say is we could always activate the wide angle, but sometimes we get a little bit of a concave looking fishbowl effect, and I didn't want to give you that for that comparison. So this is a solid nighttime photo. Now, if we go ahead and, like I always like to do, is I like to zoom in on the lamp posts, and we like to take a look and see the detail within the two photos. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say my personal feelings, right? Taking a look at this, the OnePlus 9 Pro is giving us a little bit more detail than the S21 Ultra. It's a little bit darker of an image, but I do think it is bringing us more detail. So if I had to guess between these two, I would prefer the OnePlus 9 Pro. Which one would you prefer? Head down to the comments and let me know what you think. Photo 1, do you like the OnePlus 9 Pro or do you like the S21 Ultra? The next photo is another nighttime photo, and putting these up side by side next to each other, it's the same photo taken at the same time, at the same angle, phone side by side next to each other. But we're looking at two very different photos, two very different color signs. Now on the S21 Ultra, again, I think it's a little too dark. I don't know, if we zoom in on the bunch of palm trees there to the left of the photo, right next to that pickup truck, we can actually see that the OnePlus 9 Pro brought brought out the light and enhanced it a lot more than the S21 Ultra did. Again, nighttime mode, I'm gonna give this one hands down to the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now we have another little nighttime view right across the street. Now, one thing I want to bring to your attention is the light flare. So Samsung gave us a really strong light flare coming off of that lamppost there, whereas on the OnePlus 9 Pro, we got none of that. Samsung S21 Ultra, we got that little light flare going up there. Looks not good, doesn't look good at all. But the sky is a nice dark blue, but still nice and joyfully enhanced, if you will. Joyfully enhanced. I think it makes the photo look really good. So here's going down the street in the other direction, if you will. Go down this road with me. And this has nighttime activated. And again, Samsung S21 Ultra, light flare off the lamppost. OnePlus 9 Pro, it ain't there. It looks phenomenal. My personal feelings, that right there makes or breaks the whole picture for me. If I had to pick which device I'm gonna grab to take a nighttime shot, it's gonna be based on what we just saw, the OnePlus 9 Pro, every single time. So now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at a photo, same photo that we just took a picture of, but with no night mode activated. So this is the raw image as it is, enhanced as it's enhanced, nothing special, nothing pro, nothing tweaked about it. And again, if we go down and zoom in and look at the detail of the leaves, in this photo, no nighttime mode activated. I'm gonna give it to Samsung S21 Ultra, of course. Look at it, you can see there's more definition in the trees, they're more outlined, even though they're still a little blurry, they're not as blurry as over on the OnePlus 9 Pro. So good job there, Samsung. So this is an interesting shot. This is actually taken in this studio, in the doorway, looking in, completely dark. The only thing that you can see is a couple lights from my lights that we have down here. And we also zoom in, we can see our Google Home Nest or whatever this thing is. And if we look, I took the photo at 10:56 p.m. and Samsung, no nighttime mode, took a better picture and had clearer images when it came to the clock than the OnePlus 9 Pro. So what have we learned so far? OnePlus 9 Pro, nighttime mode activated, takes a better photo. Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, no nighttime mode activated, takes a better photo. Something pretty interesting, something to think about. If you don't always want to activate nighttime mode, the Samsung S21 Ultra might be the device for you. In this photo, we have a beautiful, nice little red flower in my backyard. I have bokeh activated, also known as portrait mode, and you can see that the OnePlus 9 Pro, again, much wider of an angled lens, gives you more to look at. The S21 Ultra, very much narrow. And these were again taken vertical, not horizontal, since that's how we're consuming most content these days. At least myself, because I watch a lot of TikToks. So this, I mean, which one do you like? I gotta give it to OnePlus 9 Pro. I really do. And I know you guys are gonna jump into the comments and say that I'm biased. Maybe I am. I'm biased because it's better, not because I have any sort of allegiance to OnePlus 9 Pro. If Samsung was giving me a better photo, I would say, hey, Samsung's a better photo here. But it's not. The OnePlus 9 Pro has been killing it. So now I'm taking a look. This is Athena, my other Doberman. I used to have 2 Dobermans in a pit, but I lost my old man Doberman a few weeks ago, so it's super sad. And I'm trying to give Athena more love and attention since she was neglected, because he got all of the attention because he was old and sick. But we got Athena, so we're loving on her as much as possible. You're gonna see her, my new little supermodel, and some camera comparisons. So Athena actually came out really, really good. There's a little hair, if you will, floating on her face, and I was impressed because it picked up in both photos. Nice, well-lit sky, so we had great lighting conditions, but this is definitely a portrait shot, so the bokeh is activated. So what am I doing here when we're looking at activating bokeh? We are zooming in on those ears, and we're seeing what the blurry edges look like. So over on the Samsung, the blurred looks a little bit more defined on the OnePlus 9 Pro versus the Samsung. And you know, I'm not happy with these results. I'm gonna be honest with you. My S21 Ultra, I believe, was a couple $100 more than my OnePlus 9 Pro. So not really too excited that I'm favoring the OnePlus over the Samsung. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is I went ahead and I took a slow-mo video, which I'm not a big fan of slow-mo videos. They gotta have perfect lighting in order to come out great. In my kitchen, there was not perfect lighting, and I did not feel like I wanted to bring the lights out of the studio into my kitchen. So we're gonna go ahead and just take a look at this side by side and see which one of these you prefer as far as the slow-mo enhanced effect. What I can share with you as far as the colors go, Samsung S21 Ultra is giving me more accurate colors, whereas the OnePlus 9 Pro is giving me softer, warmer colors. My faucet is definitely dark as it's represented here in this photo. The slow-mo is pretty solid on both. Samsung also has a super slow-mo feature, and OnePlus did not have one for me to test against it, so we just used the slow-mo feature. So we are looking at another beautiful red flower in the backyard. And again, we have portrait mode activated. And what do we want to look at portrait mode? We want to look at the edges. So let's go ahead and pick a couple petals and zoom in on and compare those edges. Now, from what I'm seeing right here, just looking at a couple of these edges, wow, I think Samsung, the conditions of this with the green, Samsung might have actually given me a sharper portrait photo. So I will say Samsung is the leader as far as more defined edges in this photo as compared to the last one with Athena's ears. So the OnePlus had more defined edges. So good job, Samsung. So it is good to see that you're stepping it up and you're fighting back. So here I did take this one horizontal, as you can see. This is really interesting because Samsung gives us a much more horizontal photo than it gives us vertical, whereas the OnePlus 9 Pro gives us a more vertical photo versus more of a horizontal photo. So I did find that interesting. It fuzzed out my F6 recorder pretty good. Did a better job on the background on the S21 Ultra, but I actually think it was a little bit more aggressive than it needed to be, because look at my little Android man's hat on the S21 Ultra. It's pretty blurry, almost like it's not even there, whereas on my OnePlus 9 Pro, it's very defined and outlined and looks great. Here is another slow-mo video for your viewing enjoyment. Again, we're consuming content vertically, not horizontal. This is just me calling Athena to come and play with me and run to me, and she moves really slow to begin with. So to put her in slow-mo makes it even funnier because she's extra slow. This is like super slow-mo, but she's not even slow. So there is lovely Athena, and you can see Blue's little head there at the bottom. She is my very cuddly blue pit bull, both of which I love these dogs very much. So now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at old BB-8. Again, we are on the horizontal mode, portrait giving us more horizontal of an effect. And we're looking at BB-8's antenna, and it looks pretty darn good in both. I would have to say in these lighting conditions, the antenna actually looks sharper on the OnePlus 9 Pro. And it could be because there is a battery right behind it and it's making it pop a little bit stronger. But if you look in between the antennas, there's a little hair or some fuzz right there. And I find it really interesting that these cameras are so good that they can actually pick up that little imperfection in the shot. So it's showing us everything. So now I want to go ahead and show a little vertical shot I took of myself here in the little studio. The color on the OnePlus 9 Pro is kind of like, it might be more accurate, but I think I prefer the S21 Ultra a lot more. It brightened it. It made the ceiling, the background a little bit more white, even though it's more of a bluish tint in here, which now that you know that my walls have a slight baby bluish tint, it's even stranger that the OnePlus 9 Pro decided to give us a little bit of a yellow, warmer feeling. All right, guys, there you have it. Thank you for watching this lovely camera comparison. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Which of these high-powered Android Pro Ultra devices is for you? Are you buying a device based on camera? If you are, hopefully this video helped you make a decision. The S21 Ultra or the OnePlus 9 Pro. It really comes down to personal preference. This camera is big, it's beefy, it has all sorts of features. It has a ton of color changing features in the portrait mode, whereas the OnePlus 9 Pro doesn't. But if you are just looking for super solid, simple, great camera, the OnePlus 9 Pro will not let you down. If you are looking for extra jam-packed features that you're probably never going to use, but you just, well, you bought it so you want to have all the options, then the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is for you. But whichever device is for you, I will leave up for you to educate me. Head down to the comments and tell me which one you have, which one you want, which one do you think I should get rid of, which one should you buy. Till next time, for the love of tech, like, comment, subscribe. Namaste.